Ba-da-da, Star Wars Racer Revenge on the PlayStation 2. This is Jeff Bowles, author extraordinaire. Whew. Oh, that took a lot out of me. Hey everybody, this is author Jeff Bowles coming at you with another retro roundup. This entry will be checking out Star Wars Racer Revenge on the PlayStation 2, though I will be playing it on the PS4 in kind of HD remake fashion. This was a fun game. I never played it before, but I did enjoy it to a point. We'll get into that a little bit later. It's got all sorts of fun characters, all the ones from Episode 1 plus a few new ones. Now, before we get going here, do me a favor and like this video and subscribe to Jeff Bowles Central here on YouTube. We bring you multiple fun things a week: gaming, music, books, comic books, all sorts of good stuff. Subscribe and you will not be disappointed, my friends. You will not be disappointed. Okay, so Episode 1 Racer was the name of the game on Nintendo 64 that captured a lot of people's hearts at the time that Episode 1 came out. I remember having my mom drive me to the mall and buy it for me the day Episode 1 came out in theaters, which was a pretty exciting day for me. I was 15 at the time. Now this is kind of a pseudo-sequel. You could call it a sequel. And it came out about the same time as Episode 2, just a few years later. And though it's a pretty faithful sequel as far as I can remember, it is not, to me, as compelling or fun. Maybe it's just because the second time around. Now, LucasArts, of course, no longer exists, but they made a lot of really great classic games back in the day. I think the thing for me that kind of is not as good about this game is the actual maps. They don't seem as long. They don't seem as fun. It seems like more of an arcadey thing rather than what Episode 1 Racer seemed like on Nintendo 64, which was kind of like a simulation of an actual pod racing sequence. And of course there is only one pod racing sequence in all of Star Wars, and it's in Episode 1, so they don't have a whole lot to go on. The other thing about it is that your racer breaks up really damn easy. Now, of course, a video game of any sort requires a little bit of skill to play, but gosh, like me and the wifey wife fired this thing up, started playing it together, and we noticed that we were dying within within 2 minutes of each other, of the start of the match or the race, and it was like, jeez. There is a repair button, but it doesn't seem to work that well. There is a boost button, there's a camera button, and there's a throttle, and that's really all there is to this game. Mos Espa here, it seems like the original Mos Espa map, or track I should say, on the original Nintendo 64 game, seemed like it was longer and more involved, and it seemed like it was actually closer to what you saw in the movie. I mean, that was one of the great things about that game. You got to see the movie and then play the game. So I don't know if I want to recommend this game. There is a lot of variety in tracks. Like this is Gamora, which is pretty cool. So the Gamorreans come from the pig-face people, right? Nice and lush and green. But man, what are we, 14 years on, 15 years on? There's just so much better games to play. I'm not going to recommend it. Hey, do me a favor and check out my book, Godling and Other Paint Stories, which is right now free, and that's no joke. It's 100% free for e-copies on Amazon.com. Get over to Amazon right now. The link is down below, and download this beast. It is 6 stories of science fiction, fantasy, and horror. Normally it'll be 99 cents. After Friday, it will be 99 cents again. You'll love it, I promise. See you next time, people.